a little more, and remember that we really matters. Love, kindness, and people who make our lives better. Whenever you're surrounded by family, friends, or simply your thoughts, I hope this Christmas may fulfill your heart with peace and the love of Jesus Christ. Amen.
This is a message of peace. We all are South Sudanese. It does not matter where anyone comes from. We need to respect each other and support each other because we are one. We all are human beings. As South Sudanese, we deserve to coexist peacefully, tolerate one another, reconcile all our differences, and live peacefully. This is the message.
Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News Fast. Here are the headlines. The Archbishop of the Catholic Diocese of Juba, Cardinal Stephen Mayor Martin Muller, has called on South Sudanese leaders to solve for peace and national building rather than for personal opportunities. Somalia and South Sudan's foreign ministers held a telephone conversation over the weekend to discuss national sovereignty and regional stability following Israel's recognitions of the breakaway Somaliland region. China is holding military drills around Taiwan, simulating the seizure and the blockade of the island's key areas as a warning against separatist forces. This is the news in detail. The Archbishops of the Catholic Diocese of Juba, Cardinal Stephen Mayor Martin Muller, has called on South Sudanese leaders to solve for peace and national building rather than for personal opportunities. The cleric said some government officials focus more on the benefits that come with upholding public office instead of committing themselves to national development. He made the remarks after the Christmas Mass at St. Teresa Cathedral, which was attended by the President of the Republic and several government officials last Thursday. Cardinal Mayor also called on South Sudanese citizens to unite and embrace dialogue and reconciliations as the year comes to an end. Somalia and South Sudan's foreign ministers held telephone conversations over the weekend to discuss national sovereignty and regional stability following Israel's recognitions of the breakaway Somaliland region. Both ministers expressed solidarity with Somalia's sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity. Israel has become the first country to formally recognize Somalia's breakaway regions of Somaliland as an independent nation. Recognition by Israel could encourage other nations to follow suit, increasing the region's diplomatic credential and access to international markets. Somalia's Prime Minister Hassan Abdi Barre said his country categorically and unequivocally rejected that what he called a deliberate attack by Israel on its sovereignty. This is iRadio News, and now before international news, oil productions at the strategic Greek oil fields officially resumed yesterday, ending several weeks of disruptions that had threatened the economic stability of the region. The resumption follows reports earlier this month that Rapid Support Forces has allegedly seized the fields, causing an immediate halt to operations. The standoff was resolved following a landmark security deal reached on 11 December 2025 between the South Sudan's People's Defense Forces, the Sudan Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces to jointly secure the area. Engineers on site confirmed that the technical process of restarting the fields began with the successful reactivations of the central power station. This facility is critical for powering the pumps and processing units required to move crude oil through the pipelines. An engineer at the Higlik field described the atmosphere as one of the relief and achievement as the machinery hummed back to life on Saturday morning. The Higlik fields are a vital route for the economies of South Sudan and Sudan. The disruptions had caused significant concern regarding revenues loss and technical integrity of the pipeline infrastructure. With the new tripartite security arrangement in place, technical teams are now working on ramp up productions to pre-disruptions levels. Officials hope that the continued cooperations between the SSPDF, SAF and the Rapid Support Forces will provide the long-term stability needed to keep the oil flowing without further interferences by the external forces. This is iRadio News, and now to the international stories. Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky said progress had been made to end the Ukraine war during Florida talks, but the U.S. president admitted the problem of territory remained unresolved. While both the U.S. and the Ukrainian president described the talks as a great things to have so far been done, Trump said one or two things thorny issues remained unresolved, notably on the issue of land. Addressing reporters at Mar-a-Lago, Zelensky said they had come to an agreement on 90% of the 20-point peace plan, while Trump said the security guarantee for Ukraine was close to 95% done. Zelensky said later U.S. and Ukrainian teams would meet next week for further talks on issues aimed at ending Russia's nearly 4 years war in Ukraine. And finally, China is holding military drills around Taiwan, simulating the search and blockade of the island's key areas as a warning against separatist forces. The Army, Navy, Air Force and Rocket Force have been dispatched for drills which include live fire exercises, the China military said. Codenamed Justice Mission 2025, the drills are taking place days after the U.S. announced the sale on the largest weapons packages to the Taiwan worth $11 billion. That move drew sharp protests from Beijing, which is in turn sanctioned U.S. defense firms. Taiwan's push to ramp up its defense this year has also angered Beijing, which claims the self-ruled island as its territory. This is iRadio News, and now to end this bulletin, let's have the recaps on the top stories once again. The Archbishops of the Catholic Diocese of Juba, Cardinal Stephen and Mayor Martin Muller, has called on South Sudanese leaders to serve for peace and national building rather than for personal opportunities. Somalia and South Sudan's foreign ministers held telephone conversations over the weekend to discuss national sovereignty and regional stability following Israel's recognitions of the breakaway Somaliland region. China is holding military drill around Taiwan, simulating the seizure and blockade of the island's key areas as a warning against separatist forces. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there's a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 25287 870. It's also a WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page at iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic At the top of the hour, I am Darlington Moses. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for the second hour of the dawn coming up with Mama Helen.
بس خليك على اي راديو هنا تكون في جنوب السودان.
Thank you for listening to iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
بتفتش على راديو مثالي؟ آي راديو هو جوابك. ليه تختار آي راديو؟ في 5 الأسباب المغنادل.
الثقة والوصول. بيعتبر آي راديو المحطة الإذاعية الأكثر ثقة وشعبية في جنوب السودان، مدعومة بالاستطلاعات الأخيرة مع قاعدة مستمعين مخلصين. حتصل رسالتك إلى جمهور واسع بشكل فعال.
شبكة واسعة